Hello everyone, welcome to an Imperial Assault video. We have had the spoiler article for BT and 000 for the Imperial Assault villain packs. So as always, I'm going to focus on the skirmish side of the articles because that's my main focus when I'm playing. And I wanted to just go through and give you my thoughts and opinions on them, and let's see where we go from here. So we do get a double pack, obviously, with BT is the crazy Astro or Blastro mech droid with all of the death rockets, and then 000 is the protocol / sadistic torturer droid, and we've got a few skirmish upgrades to look at, and there is a skirmish upgrade, Trusted Ally, but we can't really see what it does, so I'm going to skip over that one for now. But we'll get into what we do know, and we have 000 first. So he is a 4-point droid, and he is obviously unique for the Imperial faction. Then he has 8 health, with a speed of 4, a black defense die, and a melee attack, which is a red and yellow. So it's a decent attack, Royal Guard style attack, but he doesn't have the reach or the speed of a Royal Guard to get into those positions. So some speed 4 melee characters are relatively difficult to use and always the most popular in Imperial Assault at the moment, but do have a place, and obviously you're getting a good return of health for your 4-point investment. 8 health behind the black die is easily worth 4 points. Then we look at his surge abilities. So he has Pierce 2, a Recover 2, and Shocking Palm as an ability, which does mean that even if your attack misses anyway, you can still trigger this. And obviously it is the attack misses and a defender becomes stunned. So if you're going against Luke Skywalker and he rolls a dodge, it doesn't matter, you can still focus into this result and get the stun off anyway, because it's an ability, so it's in the same way as if you don't get the range for interrogate and stuff like that, you can still do it. Until that is fixed, this should still work. So if they block the defender, so if the defender blocks the attack or dodges it, you should still be able to surge into this, because the wording of the ability should override the rule that you need to do damage. And yeah, that's a long way of saying that it's pretty good if you can get him there. Then we have a invasive procedure, kind of like MHDs, it's just an auto damage, but this one includes a surge as well, and they become bleeding and you become focused. So this guy really enjoys doing horrible things to people. And he is unnerving. At the end of your activation, each adjacent hostile figure becomes weakened. So it's definitely someone you can activate early in the turn and get into the fray and just disrupt your opponent's plans. Changing the activation order for people. So if you, again, we'll go back to the Luke Skywalker example. You walk him up, you do your stuff, you bleed him, you stun him. Bleed or stun him, either or, it's all going to be a bit of a pain. And then he is going to end up weakened as well, which takes away his auto surge cancel. So you get extra damage through when you're shooting him with other things, and it's just generally a pain. And for 4 points, I think that's well worth it. Just even when you're not going against Luke Skywalker, just those different things, people relying on surge abilities, weaken can help shut them down, but it's never one that you want to be able to get unreliably. So this iteration of it I really like. He hands out negative conditions like a boss, and yeah. Then we will look at BT. He is 6 points, which makes me sad. He is a droid, heavy weapon and hunter. A Pierce 2, a surge for Blast 1, a surge for Recover 1. He has Missile Salvo, which we'll get onto, and obviously Assassin as well. He also has a massive health pool of 10 health with a speed of 4, also rolling the black defense die, and his attack is a blue, a red and a yellow ranged attack. before you declare the attack, he becomes focused. So it's the rainbow dice attack for 6 points. Or if you're going to perform missile salvo, you get to roll a blue-green, a red-green, and a yellow-green, all of them adding +3 accuracy to a range. So +4 minimum, well, 4 accuracy minimum regardless which dice you're rolling. I suppose if you're rolling the blue dice, you're going to get a minimum accuracy of 6. Rolling the red, it's going to be a minimum accuracy of 4. Yellow, minimum's 4, but you get a bit more swing. So it covers a good amount of ground. It can recover off all of those attacks. It's just horrendously devastating if people let him get into position. But 6 points, and this is where it makes me a bit of a sad panda. We look at Chewbacca, Royal Guard Champion, Han Solo, all of these guys, and then we look at BT for 6 points, and yeah, it's sad times. I know it's a different era of Imperial Assault, but it is starting to wear on me a little bit now. We've had the discussions in X-Wing, obviously, about the power creep and stuff like that, and I think it's now undeniable in Imperial Assault that the power creep is happening, that things are just getting better and better. And I'll be honest, I don't really know how I feel about it yet. I've not really formed an opinion. I haven't played enough after the recent regionals with the Jabba's Realm stuff to actually sit down and plan out how it's all going to affect the meta and how I want to play the game anymore. I'm not, by any means am I going to quit the game, it's nothing like that, but it is a little bit sad to see that all of the old stuff is just terrible when you do a direct comparison. What you're getting, a 6-point model, what we look at some of the generic heroes from the box and what they offer for 6 points compared to this guy, and yeah, but is contained in the Imperial faction, so it isn't too much of an issue. It replaces Stormtroopers pretty well. At a 6-point Stormtrooper activation, yeah, you get 3 models to move around, but you've got 1 more health than them. You're rolling the same dice, and your attack can quite easily kill them, and they probably won't kill you. So you could, in one activation, kill all 3 of a group of Stormtroopers with this guy, whilst they would struggle to kill you back. So it is good. It is very good. The main thing is going to be obviously a massive target painted on him, because you cannot let this guy roll around throwing out that many attack dice for his cost. If you don't deal with him, it's just going to wreck any list he goes up against at the moment. I'm struggling to think of ways and means that he's just bad, and honestly I can't really think of any. So we'll go through, I think, his card. Yep, I've clicked the right one. So his command card is the Ballistics Matrix. So you can use it during your activation, and you can place this card onto your deployment card. So this is actually a command card that upgrades you, which is pretty interesting. We talk about a few different dynamic and mechanics that is introduced in this pack, and this is one of them, which I find pretty interesting. You allowing command cards into play as an upgrade card is pretty nice. Then exhaust this card before you declare an attack. Figures do not block line of sight during this attack. So you can only do it once, but then when you consider you can be doing that on your 4 dice attack, this gets to be pretty good, to be honest with you. You can hide him back and then launch a massive salvo of death at somebody, and you can do it from behind, do back or something like that, and keep him safe that way. So if you can get this card out early and plan for it, it's pretty good. And then we will look at 000's card. His command card is also 1 point, and as an action, each hostile figure with line of sight to you suffers 1 strain and becomes weakened. So this one isn't necessarily 100% required must take if you're fielding 000. I don't think you need to take this card. If you're looking for ways to just burn through someone's command deck quicker, it's good and it's interesting, or you'll just splash damage onto everybody. But on its own, I don't think there's enough strain in the Imperial faction at the moment to make this work properly. So you're looking at probably having to bring in some of the mercenaries to balance that strain mechanic out if that's the way you're wanting to play. But a decent card for 1 point, but definitely not a must take. Then the other card we have that they've shown us is Shared Experience, which is a droid or vehicle. And this is another new mechanic that they have. So use during your activation, spend 3 movement points to become focused. So you play the card, then when a friendly droid or vehicle is defeated, you may redraw this card. So during a droid or vehicle's activation, once they've generated movement points, you can spend 3 of those movement points to become focused, and when a friendly, so that's that bit done, and then it goes into discard pile. And then what you can do is when they defeat something, so you've got a 3-point probe droid, when you blow it up in the end phase, it's defeated and you may redraw this card. So pretty good, gets it back into your hand and you get to refocus something. I like the fact that it is 3 movement points. It means that you can still do it with the regular probe droids. Vehicles as well, you can now focus your ATSTs or your focus General Vice. You can focus jet troopers, which is unfortunate. I don't think that's quite how it was intended. But jet troopers can sacrifice some movement points to focus themselves. I do like it on the hover tank. No one's really going to be fielding the hover tanks, but it's pretty interesting that way. You can get the focused death shots from it. And yeah, there's a few different ways and means of using it, but I do like the redraw mechanic. That's really interesting, and hopefully we see more of it. That is all of the cards with a focus on skirmish game mode, so I'm not going to go into too much more on that. And yeah, I think it's a really good pack. I obviously think that BT is slightly more powerful than 000. I do think 000 still has its uses and will be an annoyance. It's definitely a nice way to fill out 4 points when you compare it to a 3-point probe droid or 4 points for him. I think he does have just as many valid uses. And yeah, there we go. Hope you enjoy the video, everyone, and I will see you on the next one.